live on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, and blasttheradio.com. This is the Lowell Green Show. The number to call and be heard around the world is 613-413-2217. Or email Lowell at blasttheradio.com. And now, here is Lowell Green.
Thank you, John. I am mad as hell at my country and the freaking fuddle-duddle government that continues to diddle-daddle around here. You know, this is bloody believable. The incredibly brave people of Ukraine deserve far more from us. Far more. Yeah. We've imposed a few minor sanctions. Easy to do. You just, push a little switch and you cut off some banks and so forth. I guess the best thing we did was we've banned, so we say, Russian air travel over our space. Although what we're going to do if there's a Russian plane, God only knows. What are we going to do? Throw up some maple syrup? I don't know. But I mean, why? Let me start here. Why the hell have we not told every freaking godforsaken Russian diplomat, hangers-on, spies, their freaking families, and booted them the hell out of my country? Get the hell out of my country, you bastards. I don't want you here. There's no space for you in this country. Get out. If Trudeau had any guts, any balls, he would have told them this long ago. Why and why haven't we even as yet told Russia that your junior hockey team will not be welcome here in Edmonton for the World Junior Finals? Don't show up at our shore with your damn Russian players. Don't. It's unbelievable. And I'll say something else. They're incredibly brave, heroic president has pleaded with the world. He says, "Don't send me a ride." In other words, when he was offered a chance to get out, he said, "Don't send me a ride, send me ammo." So what do we send? A few body armors and some gas masks. They need ammunition. They need anti-tank guns. They need Stinger, ground-to-air missiles. That's what they need. They need things. You know what they need? But we don't have the guts to send them. You know why? Because, we don't want to send things that might kill people. Freaking chicken heart. I mean, unbelievable. Send them what they asked for. Send them what they need. They don't need gas masks right now. I don't know if they need body armor. Come on. They need guns, for God's sake. And most of all, why the hell are we still buying freaking Russian oil from those bastards, those bloody bastards? And, we don't buy that much from Russia of oil, I grant you that. Most of the foreign oil that we buy, don't ask me why we buy foreign oil to begin with, but we do. But in the last 10, 15 years, they tell us that we have pumped about $10 billion into the blood-filled pockets of that criminal bastard, Putin. We have helped to fuel the goddamn attack that's now underway in the Ukraine. And John, you have a list. It's not just oil and gas that we're buying from these bloodthirsty bastards. Give us a brief list of some of the other things that we're pumping money into the blood-filled pockets of the murderous criminals.
All right, so this is from a website called tradingeconomics.com.
Son of a bitch.
These are Russian exports to Canada. Rubbers. I'm assuming that's tires and other rubber compound stuff, $55.5 million a year. Fertilizers, number 2 on the list, $54 million. We can't make fertilizer here. Mineral fuels, oils, distillation products, commodities not specified according to kind, iron and steel. Let me see, wood and articles of wood. Wood charcoal, $20.9 million. We don't have wood here in Canada?
Jesus.
Aluminum, Lowell, $13.69 million a year. Machinery, nuclear reactors, boilers, electronic equipment, optical, photo, technical, medical apparatus, furniture, lighting signs, prefabricated buildings, copper, tobacco, and manufacturers' tobacco substitutes. I think we can cancel the tobacco.
Well, you see, I don't know what the total amount is, but it's obviously in the tens of millions of dollars. As a matter of fact, it's expected that this year we will spend about $500 million buying Russian oil and gas. Ladies and gentlemen, Canada has the world's third largest oil deposits. 75% of Canada is supplied with Canadian oil. Here in Ontario, it's Canadian oil that we burn, gasoline, etc., etc. But in the province of Quebec, about 40% of the occupants there, people who buy gas, they cannot buy Canadian gas. And not one single gas pump in the Atlantic provinces, every single one of them, has any Canadian fuel available at all. And did Trudeau announce that, there may be some excuse that in the past, free trade, all the rest of it, et cetera, that maybe we had to buy some rubber. I don't understand why the hell we have to buy lumber from Russia. But I'm going to tell you right now, if I were the prime minister and I had any balls, any guts, and any brains, what I would have said when the moment that this murderous criminal Putin attacked innocent people in the Ukraine, I would have come on the air and I would have announced immediately, listen, I want to tell you Russian bastards, and that's the language I would have used probably. I'm going to tell you right now, if you have any ships on their way to Canadian ports with any kind of Russian product, you will not find port space. We will not allow your ships to tie up at any dock. If you want to unload lumber or rubber or oil or anything else, then you're going to have to toss it over the bow because we're not going to allow you to. If you're on your way, turn your freaking ship around, go back to your godforsaken country, but don't show up at Canadian port. That's what he should have said if he had any guts. That's the kind of message that the Ukrainian people need right now. A country with some guts. And it's the same in the United States. Has the United States announced that they're going to stop buying oil? About 8% of all the foreign oil that the Americans buy comes from Russia. Billions and billions and billions of dollars helping to buy. Oh, what's the money being used for in Russia right now? How about bombs, bullets, etc., used to kill innocent people, women and children in Russia? We help to pay for some of that. Why? Because the goddamn environmentalists and that Trudeau and Elizabeth May and people like John Fraser of Ottawa South, the Liberal member, and Joel Harden, who boasted about stopping Energy East, they have made sure that we could not get Canadian oil to about 1/3 of Canada's population. They didn't want a pipeline. No. Let's bring in Saudi Arabia oil, American oil, and Russian oil and gas instead of Alberta oil. That's the situation. I'm going to tell you right now, I wish that somebody out there, somebody somewhere had the guts to ask John Fraser, who boasted about the fact that he fought against Energy East. Joel Harden, that little weasel from Ottawa Centre, NDP. Somebody should ask them, okay, you fought against Energy East. You made sure that we had Russian, Saudi Arabian oil rather than Canadian oil. You were proud of yourself then. Are you still proud of yourself now? Folks, it's, you know what? If there's any good that comes out of this terrible tragedy, it's that finally, we're able to call out these freaking brain-dead, Luddite environmentalists and their useful idiot followers who have blocked the energy industry or done everything they can in this country. And there's another aspect here to all of this as well. It's not just the Canadian market. If we had several years ago been able to get Energy East already built, yes, we would be able to buy Canadian oil in the eastern part of Canada. But if the Trans Mountain had been finished, we could be shipping oil and gas over to Europe. Right now, one of the biggest weapons, of course, that Putin has is that a good chunk of the gas and oil being used in much of Europe comes from Russia. And several people have pointed out that the environmentalists are responsible for this because instead of concentrating on finding, building, making sure that we had reliable energy, oil, gas, whatever the hell it is. They have instead done what we've done here, built windmills and solar panels, which aren't worth the powder to blow them to hell. You know what? The environmentalists, the Elizabeth Mays, the Joel Hardens, the John Fraser, the Justin Trudeau's, they've got a hell of a lot to answer for. There is blood and all kinds of it on Putin's hands, but I'm going to tell you, some of that blood was helped to be put there by some of these goddamn environmentalists in this country. And it's time that we told the truth. It's time that we called them out. All right. I hope that some of you, it's folks, you know what? We have listened to these people for 25 years now. We have been warned about global warming, et cetera, et cetera. We've got to cut emissions. We'll build windmills. We'll build solar panels. That'll do it. And on any given day, they can't provide combined 10% of the needs that are here. This is the same story across Europe. This is why much of Europe is so dependent upon Russian oil and gas, is because they abandoned the fossil fuel that was providing all of the power they needed before. But no, we've got to, it's much more. Should be much more concerned about. It is so obvious, and you know what? It's come home to roost. Here we are in good, kind, gentle, environmentally friendly, windmill-prone, solar panel-rich Canada. Here we are buying Russian oil and Russian gas, pumping billions of dollars into the pockets of one of the most bloodthirsty maniacs the world has seen since Adolf Hitler. Congratulations, John Fraser. Congratulations, Justin Trudeau. Congratulations, Joel Harden. Congratulations, Elizabeth May. I hope you're happy. John, give me a break here. What have we got? What are people saying?
Have you seen Putin's house, by the way?
Putin is worth billions and billions of dollars.
He is. He has his own domed hockey arena at his house. But we buy rubber from this guy. We buy lumber from this guy. All right, folks, we want your comments on this all too important subject. You can post on Facebook. You can post on YouTube. You can post on Twitch. You can post on Twitter as well, or you can text us, or better yet, call the show. The number here is 613-413-2217. Michael says, well said, Lowell. David says, Germany has sent useful weapons. Joshua says, don't send them things that could kill people so that others can be killed. Leftist logic. Kathy is on Facebook saying Trudeau and his lefties don't like Canadian oil because they claim it's dirty. Ann says Trudeau has none of those things Lowell just mentioned, guts, brains, or balls. Nada. Paul says that's a great idea, the no port space. I love that idea. If we can have a no-fly zone, why can't we have a no boating zone? Makes no sense to me whatsoever. Leanne says, witch house. Yeah, exactly. Rick, we are sourcing foreign oil from multiple sources. Why? Because Energy East and other pipelines got stepped on by Trudeau's wrecking crew. When the Liberals bought Trans Mountain, the initial cost multiplied to $20 billion, and the project is far from finished. Here's a text, 613-413-2217. The Russian embassy has the audacity to complain about demonstrations. Maybe we should send the truckers to block the embassy gates and let them hear the air horns at night.
But, seriously, I'm really upset. This is not the country that I grew up. I want to tell you right now. Some of you out there say, well, that's good. Well, the country I grew up in, we had some guts. We punched way above our weight in both world wars. We did a hell of a job in Afghanistan. We did a hell of a job in the Korean War, but we're not doing anything right now. In fact, if someone says, well, maybe we should send some more military equipment, what would that be? Our submarines leak. Our destroyers, they're not safe in heavy seas. The airplanes are what, 40, 50, 60 years old?
And falling apart in midair.
Falling apart in midair. Thank you, John.
Are the submarines still in dry dock in Halifax? I believe last time I was in Halifax, they were.
We bought, I don't, you can't.
Used submarines from France.
I can't keep up with it. But why the hell, seriously, why have we not booted out every freaking Russian diplomat, their followers, because, I mean, half of them are spies anyway. Why are they still here in this country? Why didn't Trudeau immediately just kick them all out? Why haven't we told Russia we're not buying anything from you? I don't care whether, we need your lumber or something. You know what? Let's put more people to work out in BC. Let's put more people to work in Ontario, cutting down trees, et cetera, et cetera. We got more trees than we know what the hell to do with here. Rubber, we don't have to buy rubber from Russia. Jesus. Why? And so, you know what? So what if we did? One of the things I want you to notice is that all of the steps taken so far by Canada are intended to somehow or other wound Russia a tiny little bit, but not hurt us. We have taken no steps that in any way would make us make any sacrifices. No, we're still going to buy. We still need Russian oil. We still need Russian gas. So we're not going to ban that. This is some help for the Ukrainian people, isn't it? The sacrifices they're making, ready to die for God's sake, and we're not prepared to give up buying lumber from them or oil. It's unfreaking believable. This is not my country. John, go ahead, please.
Lisa is on Facebook. She says it's ludicrous that we are buying oil from Russia, not when we have it in our own or on our own doorstep. Text just came in moments ago. Again, the number here, 613-413-2217. It's not like the world couldn't see this coming. Putin, the thug, killed Litvenko 16 years ago with polonium-210 from a nuclear reactor, poisoned many others with Novichok nerve gas in perfume bottles, and still many more with bullets to the head as they get off buses. For not dealing with Putin severely early on, we are paying the price now.
But it makes a good point. We've known this. I mean, it's you're right. It's not as if this was novel, that we've just suddenly learned about how evil this bloodthirsty bastard is. We've known this. I mean, how long? 2014, he invaded Crimea. We know he is a bloodthirsty madman, but we continued to buy oil and other products from him and helped fuel his war machine and helped him buy more homes, etc., etc. Why? Well, because the environmentalists said, well, you know what? We would sooner have Russian oil here. Yeah, we know it's got to be carried across the ocean in tankers that might sink and kill whales and all the rest of it. But we don't want a pipeline across Quebec. Oh, Jesus. Folks, that's what these sons of bitches are saying. That's what guys like John Fraser have been saying. Oh, no, we would sooner have Russian oil. Yeah, man. It's unbelievable. It's almost, when I say it's unbelievable, it really is. When you stop and think about it and analyze what has been going on and what continues to go on, you have to shake your head and say, this can't be real. Why would people insist that we buy oil from Saudi Arabia that's got to be tanked across the Atlantic Ocean? Why would we prefer to buy Russian oil when we have our own oil? And a lot of the arguments about, oh, well, it's dirty oil, etc. Excuse me, 75% of all Canada uses oil and gas from Alberta. And now let me add, and somebody say, oh, well, it's more expensive. Excuse me. Is gas cheaper in the maritime? All of the maritime provinces use foreign oil and gas. Is it gas cheaper there? How about Quebec? 40% of Quebec uses foreign oil. Is gas cheaper there? I don't think so. So where's this argument? Oh, well, it's dirty. Wait a minute. I even had some guy say, well, somebody wrote on Facebook about, well, it's from the oil sands and it's hard on your engine. Do cars not last as long in Ontario as they do in Quebec? Because we're burning Alberta oil in Ontario, and for the most part in Quebec, they're burning foreign oil. So the car engines last longer in Quebec. I mean, some of these arguments, people they have total abandonment of brain power. I gotta stop here and talk about some good people through all of this. One of the great things about Valley people is that, no matter what happens, you can always count on someone in the Valley. If you need a hand, you need a help, you need someone to treat you honestly, you deal with somebody in the valley. And that's very true of Shields. Appliances, mattresses, furniture, but and a lovely little butcher shop. Okay, if you want local meats, local beef, poultry, pork, Shields and Pakenham is the place to go. Now you don't have to go to Pakenham. They got a wonderful website. Many people use it. Shields.ca. All of the products that are there, the prices, the colors, the styles, etc., etc. It's all there, very easy to see and use. Shields.ca. John, any more comment? You know what? Let me just say this, folks. If none of this upsets you, then please don't try to give blood because you can't have any. This is wrong. What we are doing is wrong. The Ukrainian people deserve far better from us. They deserve a situation where we are prepared to make some sacrifices ourselves, including instead of burning Russian oil, maybe we could burn oil from Alberta. That would be the kind of sacrifice we're talking about. Go ahead, John.
Here's a text, 613-413-2217. Hi, Lowell. You hit the nail on the head. We are being held hostage by an ideology. Truth is, this war is all about energy, and Putin doesn't give a shit how far he needs to go. The real hero is the leader of Ukrainian, and the people are freedom fighters. Let me see. Let's go to, where was Christine's comment? Oh, please, she says, how dare you blame the left and claim to be pro-Canada? They never said buy Russian oil. They said use renewable energy. These people, the left, are the same people that fought for your health care, your 40-hour work week, your minimum wage. It's easy for the right to shoot off their mouth from the comfort of their home about what to do with a maniac that can crush the entire planet with the push of a button. I'm the lefty you are talking about, and if you think I'm afraid of fights, you have miscalculated. If you think I don't care as much about Ukraine as you, then no, stop provoking.
Well, do you care enough about Ukraine to stop buying Russian products then? That's my question. You can be as far left as you want. Do you still think it's a good idea to buy Russian oil rather than Canadian oil? Is that still where your mind is? Is that really where the leftist mind is now? That we should be buying Russian oil rather than Canadian oil? Because that's what you have imposed on this country. Go ahead, John.
Christine says, I ride a bike. There you go. Lowell, this is an email, by the way. Lowell at blasttheradio.com. Yep.
Okay. You ride a bike on roads that are paid for by people who drive their automobiles and burn fossil fuels. Thank you. So you can ride a bicycle and be holier than thou and all the rest of it. But would you please thank a motorist who actually paid for it? Go ahead, John.
Okay. Email Lowell at blasttheradio.com. Lowell, this country is so badly ill-equipped to help any nation militarily launch, much less our own. How are we to help really? Hand out bottles of Crown Royal and bottles of maple syrup when they arrive at our border, asks Lisa. Len says, when product is shipped to Canada, it's usually prepaid before it leaves the port it is shipped from. So you would only be hurting businesses that have bought these products, says Len.
Bullshit. You know what? I don't care. We have to be prepared to make some sacrifices here. I doubt very much if there's prepayment, whatever it is. I don't care. There is no bloody way that any Russian product should be allowed into this country. And don't give me all the equivocations. I don't want Russian products here. I don't want in any way. Send a message to the local producers, whatever it is. You know what? If some local producers are going to lose money they've already paid, I, as a taxpayer, I say compensate. But I don't want Russian material. I don't want Russian oil. I don't want Russian lumber. I don't want Russian diplomats in my country. If you do, it's up to you. Go ahead.
On that, may I ask, have we removed our ambassador from Russia?
Nope.
We're still there, right?
It's still, you know what? These bastards are still here. And don't forget that, I mean, a good
No, I know they're here, but we're still there.
Oh, I'm not sure. I'm not sure if we've been booted out yet.
Should we be?
Oh, absolutely. We
Okay.
should leave. In fact, I think we have warned Canadian citizens to leave. Whether that includes the diplomatic corps, I'm not sure. There's absolutely. You know what? This is a bloodthirsty nation led by a madman, and we should just absolutely sever all ties, no product, no Russian diplomats, etc., etc. In fact, if you're a Russian citizen, I think you should take your leave of this country as well. I don't think you're welcome here. Go ahead, John.
And that's what I'm asking. Have we closed our embassy in Russia?
Not sure. Good question.
Yeah. And I haven't heard about the Americans doing that either. So, I know that the reporters are right there in Moscow. All right. Coraline says, stop all Russian imports. Bob says, we need to stop imports from Russia and China. It will be tough, but it will be worth it. Jay says, what happened to Made in Canada? Cheryl says, totally agree. The Ukrainian people definitely deserve better from us. Gregory says, remember land lease in World War II? The USA cut a deal to lease military equipment to Britain early in the war. We need to lease a squadron of F-18s and a convoy of Leopard 2 tanks. Let the Ukrainians man them. Give them a chance. Greg says, for a country who has petroleum, why can't we process it here? Send our troops over now to help.
Well, wait a minute. See, we still have people who don't understand. We do process the oil here. We have all kinds of refineries. It's not in fact, there are 2 refineries east of Montreal that usually don't have enough oil. That's why they have to import. Okay. We are able to get some Alberta oil into those 2 Quebec refineries. We have no Alberta oil going to the Irving refinery in New Brunswick. We have all kinds of refineries. It's the pipelines. Please understand, we can't get our oil to most of Quebec and all of the maritime provinces because Trudeau and his bobblehead idiots canceled Energy East. We don't have a pipeline going to the east of Canada. That's the problem, okay? And now, I also mention something else? Quebec didn't want pipeline, etc. I just want to remind you that some 46 people died in Lake Megantic when a oil-laden train caught fire. Folks, that oil was from North Dakota. 46 people in Lake Megantic, Quebec, died because foreign oil was being shipped through to the Irving refinery rather than go by a pipeline. That's how ridiculous and hypocritical this whole thing is. Go ahead, John.
Let me see. Let's go to Cheryl on Facebook. She says, we need to stop any and all Russian goods that come into our country. Full stop, she says. Lisa says, when Pierre is the PM, I think you'll find an actual grown-up in power with leadership skills. Paul says, 50 years of failed doomsday predictions from the Enviros. Let me see. Lauren says, literally the entire world holds some responsibility for this. We've all become complacent somewhere along the lines on where we get things from overall: oil, food, medicine, clothing, etc. If it doesn't matter to most on how they have it, so long as they can get it cheap. And I think a global overhaul of this mindset needs to be addressed. We all, on a global level, need to simply care more, in my opinion.
You're right. By the way, talking about global predictions of global warming and emissions and all the rest of it, I don't want to remind you, this is about 25 years now. We have been told that next year we're going to burn up, okay? One of the best examples of how we have been lied to concerns polar bears. This is one of the things that I have studied fairly well. There's something posted again today about how the polar bears are in danger because the ice is disappearing. Actually, there's more ice in the Arctic right now than there has been in the past 12 years. But anyway, forget that. Here are the facts. This is not Lowell Green. These are actually from the Canadian government. In the 1950s, it's estimated that there were about 5,000 polar bears alive in the world. You know how many polar bears are now alive in the world? About 25,000. But all along they've been telling, oh, well, the global warming is going to destroy the polar bear population. And anyway, I just use that as one example of the lies that we have been fed in order to justify building windmills and buying Russian oil. We're right out of time, folks. Thank you very much. Listen, if you get a chance to talk to one of those environmentalists, Elizabeth May, John Fraser, little Joel Harden, these people fought so hard against energy. Ask them if they still think it's a good idea to buy Russian oil and gas rather than Canadian. Ask them. I dare you. I dare you. Ask them. Ask John Fraser, one of the few provincial Liberals still left. Ask him if he still thinks it's better to buy Russian oil. I'm going to try to get through to him. I know he won't respond to me, but maybe he will to you. Thank you all. We'll be back.
The Lowell Green Show is seen and heard live around the world at 2 p.m. Eastern. Connect with us online at blasttheradio.com/Lowell Green. Can't join us live? Download the Lowell Green podcast. Available on Apple, Spotify, Google, and more. Ask your smart speaker to play the Lowell Green podcast. This is a production of blasttheradio.com.